Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today in DC Universe Online, and this is going to be a complete walkthrough using the character boost method. So once you load the game up for the first time, you should get a few opening cutscenes. You can hold any button to skip them. So you have this opening, and then you have this thing right here, which is going to eventually take you to a loading screen, where the first thing you are tasked with in this game is to create a character. Now, creating a character is going to be the most important step in order to begin the process of getting your specific achievements. So first thing you are going to do is you are going to choose your gender. Doesn't really matter for this. Then you are going to choose your body type. Again, this one doesn't really matter. But what does matter towards the achievement is going to be your character type. So for character type, make sure you pick inspired by. There's going to be a total of 6 character specific achievements. For this one, we are going to start out with Wonder Woman. In addition to these 6 character specific achievements, there are also going to be a handful of trait related achievements that you can also get along the way. So for this first Wonder Woman character, we are going to make sure we change a few things. Make sure you keep personality set at powerful. Make sure you keep origin set to magic. The only thing you want to change is going to be power. You want to make sure you change that to nature. Whatever you want for weapon, and then make sure you keep movement set to flight. Then you should be ready. Then you're going to hit start, and then you have to enter a character name. Just enter whatever name that hasn't been taken in the game already, and you should load the game up. You are going to start the game with a tutorial that you can't skip, unfortunately. So what you have to do is you have to make sure you play through it. It's going to be your basic 3D brawler. Basically, you talk to Superman, and he's going to walk you through the combat, and then you are going to head down a few hallways and beat up some enemies, and eventually that's going to result in a boss fight against Brainiac. The whole sequence should take anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes, so it's kind of a slog, but just make sure you get through it. You only have to do it this one time, so don't worry about doing it later for the other characters we have to do to get the other achievements. So just make sure you take out Brainiac, and then you're going to get some end mission dialogue from Superman. Just make sure you talk to him, get your good job and all that stuff, and then you should be good for finishing up the tutorial. And that should also boost your character level to level 4, which is going to be the base level. After you get your final level ups, you're going to hit up this last portal, and you are basically going to teleport into the open world part of the game. So the way the achievements are going to work in this game is all of the achievements require you to hit the max level with a specific character being your mentor, which is going to be one of the 6. So you have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman on the hero side, and on the villain side, you have Lex Luthor, the Joker, and Circe. In addition to those, you also have achievements for hitting the max level with some certain character traits, whether that be a movement type or a type of character class, etc., etc. So the way we have this character set up is we are going to have Wonder Woman be our mentor because we set her as our inspiration type, and then all of the traits that we had as Wonder Woman at default combined with the few that we changed around, we should be good for getting a handful of those achievements as well. Now, on to actually learning how to max out the character. Normally, you would have to play the game like a normal MMO, which is going to basically amount to you doing quests in order to grind XP. However, this game does offer character boosts in the form of microtransactions. So there are a few ways of doing this. You can either hit up the marketplace and you could buy some marketplace cash. The price of marketplace cash is going to vary from time to time. It's a very fluctuating market. Generally, as time goes on, this form of microtransaction tends to get more expensive. These happen to be the prices of them at the time of making this video. What also tends to fluctuate is going to be how much it costs in order to buy a max character boost. So at the time of making this video, it costs about $37.50 in marketplace cash in order to buy a max character boost. So what that is going to amount to is it's going to cost about 32 to 40 US dollars in order to buy enough marketplace cash to buy a full character boost. So doing the math, if you want all of the achievements in this game in as little time as possible and don't mind spending the money, you can basically do it for around $200 in order to max out all 6 characters that we are going to do. Again, this microtransaction market is going to be a fluctuating market that tends to trend upward and become more expensive over time, so keep that in mind. These prices will most likely change in the future. Keep in mind, like other microtransactions, there are other ways of saving money. You can buy the marketplace cash in the bigger chunks in order to save more money overall, or you can keep an eye out for sales or certain memberships that will give you a small discount here and there. Now, if you are completely against the microtransactions in this game, the developers also happen to do seasonal events every now and again, and during those, they will give you a free character boost. So these will come in the form of presents. All you have to do is just load up the game and then open up your present by hitting up on the D-pad and then just make sure you claim it. The things you're going to look for are going to be the CR255, which are going to be the full character boosts. Keep in mind, however, these are going to be few and far between. The developers tend to do maybe one or at most two a year, so you kind of have to play the patience game if you do plan on going that method. However, they are completely free. You just have to remember to grab them whenever they are available for a certain limited time. Regardless what method you decide on, whether that be dropping the tons of cash on the microtransactions or waiting for the free seasonal character boost, in order to use a character boost, which one do you want to make sure you go to your options, go to switch character, which should kick you to the character selection screen. Highlight your character and then hit X to advance character level. Then what you want to do is want to make sure you pick skip to CR255. This should use the character boost on them and then the game should load up. So they should advance all the way to level 30, which is going to be the max level, and you should get every single achievement related to the stats that we set up earlier. So, because we set up this character's inspiration as Wonder Woman, we should get her as our mentor, and we should have the achievement for maxing out a character with Wonder Woman as their mentor. Also, because we had our traits set to nature, we should also get the achievement for maxing out a character as a healer, and because we had our movement type set to flying, we should also get the achievement for maxing out a character with the aerial movement mode. Also, as a bonus achievement, you should also get the platinum medal in a race achievement as well. So that's going to happen to cover just one character. Keep in mind there's going to be a total of 6 characters that we need to create and max out in order to get every single other achievement in this game, which is going to mean you are going to have to either buy or obtain 5 more character boosts. So once you have another character boost handy, it's time to set up our second character. What you want to do is want to make sure you go into your options and then go to switch character. Then what you are going to do is you're going to go to create a character, and that's going to basically send us back to the beginning of the game with a new character at our disposal. So again, whatever you want for gender and also whatever you want for the body type. What's going to matter for the achievements is going to be the character type. So go to inspired by. For this second character, we are going to work on our Batman achievement. So make sure you choose Batman as your inspiration. Then we're going to head down the list and we're going to make sure all the traits are to our liking. For this specific character, we're going to make sure our origin is set to tech, and then we're going to make sure our power is set to gadgets. For weapon, just pick whatever you want. We're just going to keep it the same just for the sake of simplicity. And for our movement, we are going to make sure we set that to acrobatics. So make sure you roll that character. So hit start and then you get to name it. Make sure you use a different name because every name can only be used once per character. And then just make sure you hit start to finish. Make sure you skip tutorial. Since we've already done it on a previous character, we can actually just skip the tutorial on every subsequent character, which should also level us up to level 4. Then what you want to do is you want to make sure once you load into the game, you go back to the switch character menu. So make sure you switch character. That should take you to the character select. Then same thing as before, X to advance character level if you want to use a boost. Skip to CR255 to max them out to level 30. And that should load up the game and all of our achievements should pop in the loading screen. So this particular character setup should get us 3 achievements. We should get an achievement for maxing out a character with Batman as our mentor. We should also get an achievement for maxing out a character with the controller type role, which you can get for having a character with the gadgets trait. And also you should get the achievement for maxing out a character with the agile movement mode, which is to have a character that has the acrobatics movement type. So that's going to take care of one more character. We're going to move on to character number 3. So head into your options, switch character to go back to the character select screen. Now, once you are back at the character select screen, you will notice that you actually can't create a new character without having to buy additional slots. So since we're trying to save money, since we probably already spent it on microtransactions if you went that route, what we have to do is we have to make sure we delete one of our previous characters. So to delete a character, which one do you want to make sure you highlight that character and then hit the Y button? It's going to ask you to type that character's name in to confirm your deletion. Once they are deleted, you are now free in open slot. So just make sure you hit create a character and you should be free to now create a new character. So same thing as before, whatever you want for gender and body type. Then on inspired by, for this third character, we are going to pick Superman, and then we are going to adjust our character traits. So everything the same up top, and just make sure you scroll all the way down. We are going to keep personality at powerful. We are going to keep origin at meta. Very important that you make sure you keep power on ice. And then finally, the thing you want to change is going to be the very last option, which is movement. Since we already got flight done with Wonder Woman, we are going to change this to super speed. So just make sure you adjust that, and then our character should be good to go to get us the remainder of the trait related achievements. So make sure you hit start to confirm our character, punch in the name. Again, make sure you use a different name in order to make sure you have that count, and then just hit start to finish. Then skip tutorial, which should skip us past that. Once in the game, once you have your character boost handy, just make sure you head back to the character select screen. So head into options and then go to switch character, and then once we are back at said character select screen, highlight the character, X to advanced character level, and then make sure you use the CR255 boost. Then we should load into the game, and all of our achievements are going to be obtained in the loading screen. So we should get our first achievement for maxing out a character with Superman as our mentor. We should also get the achievement for maxing out a tank role class that you can get for choosing ice for one of your character traits. And then you should also get the maxing out a character with the swift movement ability, which is for choosing super speed as your movement type. So that should actually be the last of all of the trait related achievements, so we don't have to worry about that in our subsequent characters. That should also be the last hero related achievement, so we don't have to worry about choosing any more heroes for our inspiration type. Nonetheless, just make sure you go back to switch character and make sure you delete one of your slots to clear it up. Then go to create character, and then we are going to create our next character. So now that we have heroes and character traits out of the way, we can just focus on our villain related achievements. So again, whatever you want for gender and body type, this time for character type, go to inspired by, and we're going to start with our first villain, who is going to be Circe. So make sure you pick her, and then just make sure you keep all of her stats the same. Since we have all of the trait related achievements, we don't have to worry about any of the traits. You can just leave them alone if you really want to. Just make sure you keep everything the same, and you should be good for popping the specific achievement that we are going for. So just hit the start button and name your character, and then load into the game. Make sure you skip the tutorial as always. Once you load in, just make sure you exit by going to switch character. On the character selection screen, just make sure you apply your character boost, and then you should max out the character. So advanced character level, and then just make sure you skip to CR255, and then once you load into the game, you should get your achievement for maxing out a character with Circe as your mentor. Unfortunately, for these last three achievements, we are only going to get one achievement per character. So if you are planning on dropping the money on the microtransactions, keep in mind that your money per gamer score return is going to start slowing down. So back to options, and then back to character selection. Make sure you delete this character and then start up a new character, character number 5, which is going to be our second villain. So create a character and then load in. Again, make sure you pick whatever you want for gender, and then pick whatever you want for body type. This time we are going to go to inspired by, and we are going to choose the Joker. So scroll on down until you see him, and just like before, we are not going to mess with any of the character traits. Make sure you keep everything the same. The only time you want to really modify anything is if you happen to miss one of the trait related achievements while working on your heroes, so you can take advantage of this as well. You do have a little bit of margin of error in case you mess up on any of those character trait achievements during the previous setup. So start, name your character, make sure you skip tutorial, all that jazz, and then once you get into the game, options, switch character, and then back at the character select screen, make sure you hit X to advance the character level, make sure you level up the character all the way up, and then in the loading screen, we should get our achievement for maxing out a Joker mentored character. So that should be character number 5, which is going to leave us with one more achievement with one more character. So just make sure you head back into options, go to switch character. That should kick us back to the character select menu. Make sure you delete one of your characters to free up a slot. So make sure you hit Y to delete, punch in the name to confirm, and then we're going to set up our last character. So create a character, and then we are going to do this one final time. So again, whatever you want for gender, and then whatever you want for body type. Then you want to go to inspired by. The last villain we need is going to be Lex Luthor, so make sure you choose him as your inspiration, and then just keep all of the traits and stuff the same unless you happen to miss something from before. But once again, this should be your last achievement. Make sure you confirm and then punch in a character name, and then just make sure you skip the tutorial, and then we are going to load into the game, and then once we are actually in said game, we are going to make sure we exit out of the game. So start options, go to switch character, which is going to kick us back to the character select menu. Once there, make sure you highlight your Lex Luthor created character. X button to advance character level, use the last boost on it. Hopefully, if you went the microtransaction route, you aren't starving for cash at this point. But whatever the case, once you finally max out your last character and the game loads up, you should get your last achievement for maxing out a Lex Luthor inspired character. There is all of the achievements covered using the character boost method. Hope you enjoyed the video, and that's all there is to it.